The next story I wanted to talk about is about how many people still 6 months after the election are not accepting the fact that Trump isn't president anymore and still believe he's going to be reinaugurated. Not just that there was, election tampering or whatever, but that he's going to take the job back. So the first person I wanted to listen to goes by the praying medic. That's kind of his handle. That's what people know him as. And his name is David Hayes, I believe. Let's give this a listen and see what he had to say.
I think the military is going to see a constitutional crisis, is going to realize that the republic is at stake. The future of the republic is at stake. And I think they're going to step in because they are the last line of defense against tyranny.
Now, bear in mind, this isn't old. This is brand fucking new. And this is the same shit that this guy, David Hayes, has been saying for 6 months, 8 months. I mean, since the very beginning of this. The moment Trump said, I feel like, there was cheating, he jumped right on board, didn't ask questions, he just went ahead with it. And when he ran out of explanations and options and ideas for why Trump wasn't the president anymore, he started taking this path. The military is going to step in at some point and take control and put Trump back in as president. Like, when do you give up on this? Seriously, when do you give up on this?
If the courts cannot resolve the problem, and if the Department of Justice and FBI will not prosecute the fraudsters,
what is there to prosecute? There is zero evidence of widespread fraud enough to affect the election results. I mean, there is the odd person here or there who cast a ballot and it happened to go under his dead father's name by mistake instead of his own name. There are examples of people voting twice. All of the examples that I've seen so far have come from Trump supporters. I haven't seen a single example of a Democrat cheating. I'm sure they're out there. I'm sure there are a couple of examples, as there would be in any country with 325 million like the U.S. has. But it's not enough to affect the results. Let's keep listening.
The military is the last line of defense against tyranny. And I think they're going to be forced to step in because no one else is going to do it.
What tyranny are you talking about? What tyranny are you seeing happening right now? There was not enough fraud to change the election results. I've seen almost no evidence of fraud in the first place. What I have seen is Trump claiming that the Iowa caucus that he lost to Ted Cruz in the primaries, I saw Donald Trump claiming that was rigged too. Anytime the guy loses something, he claims the other guy cheated. Every fucking time. And I find it particularly fascinating that not one single state that Trump won was accused of fraud. Only the ones he lost. Isn't that an interesting coincidence?
That's just my theory. It is interesting to me still when you look at things like the fact that Biden has been flying on an aircraft that is not flying under the call sign Air Force One. There are a bunch of other things with the military. The salute that was given to Biden during the inauguration was not the traditional salute that the military does for the head of state. There's just a whole lot of things. The way the military has been interacting with the Biden administration is different, distinctly different from how they would normally interact with.
This is the kind of thing where you have a belief and you work backwards from there. It's confirmation bias. I have no fucking idea what this guy's talking about with the salute and the Air Force One call sign and all that other shit. No idea what he's talking about, but I can tell you right now that confirmation bias certainly plays a part in at least some of this. He has a belief that he's starting with. That's his starting position, and he works backwards from there to find examples that support that belief. It's so fucking sad, dude. You guys remember Jeff Jansen? Here's another one who is obsessed with Trump. He was actually fired from his church recently. He started this church, Global Fire Ministries. He and his wife, I believe, started it. And he was fired from it for supposed marital problems, or they said he left his family behind or some other thing like that. Walking in Trump's footsteps, I guess. So let's hear what this guy had to say for himself.
Today is the May the 4th, and listen, I haven't been on for a while, so I just wanted to be able to come on and say, look, it's May, and what's coming can't be stopped.
That's right, it is May. So you claimed, Jeff Jansen, that Trump was going to be reinaugurated before the election took place. You claimed he was going to win. You claimed he was going to win. He lost. So after that, you claimed he was going to be declared the winner December 14th. He wasn't. Then December 18th. Nope. Then January 6th. That failed miserably. Then January 20th, you said he was going to be inaugurated instead. Said there were going to be all kinds of arrests. In fact, people even tuned in to watch the inauguration, believing that there were going to be arrests and Trump was going to be reinaugurated. That was their sole reason for watching. Didn't happen. Then, March 4th, this guy claimed that Trump is going to be inaugurated. Didn't happen. He claimed he was going to be reinaugurated at the end of April. He was very specific. April 25th, 26th, 27th, somewhere in there. Nothing. Then he said it's going to happen March, April, May, June. One of those 4 months, he said. Here we are in May. May the 4th, Star Wars Day. Nothing. How far are we going to let this go? How far is this guy going to drag it out? On July 1st, is he going to admit he's wrong? Of course he will. Let's keep listening.
There's all kinds of amazing things that are happening, and I'm talking about President Trump. I'm talking about him coming back into power, and I'm talking about the church. I'm talking about everything that God promised.
Fascinating how he's talking about Trump in the context of things that God promised, right? This guy views Trump as a new Messiah, as a new piece that God uses to accomplish his divine plan on earth.
Back-to-back terms, everything that God has promised with this election and overturning corruption. And sometimes we as human beings, especially Americans, we need to be shown. You can't just be told, we have to be shown. So look, guys, this is an amazing time. Watch what happens. We're at the door. Things are happening. And we're going to see a massive, massive turn in this great nation and the world.
Okay, so this video that he released on May 4th, this video released just a few days after his failed prediction. So at the beginning of April, I believe, he claimed that Trump was going to be reinaugurated. He said he believed something big was going to happen. I think the 25th, 26th, and 27th, or something like that, was his original claim. And here we are. Nothing happened. So a week after his prediction failed, or his prophecy, quote unquote, failed, now he releases this video and he says, just sit back and wait because it is going to happen. When is he going to admit nothing's going to fucking happen? When's he going to admit when he's wrong? Honestly, he has turned Trump into a complete martyr, into a divine figure at this point. It's disturbing. But our old buddy Hank Kueneman actually had something to say too. Let's give this one a listen.
Why is God taking his time? Some people are accepting the results of a fraudgate.
Fraudgate? Is that the name that you're giving to this election? Fraudgate? Give me a fucking break, man.
And they write petitions calling out the prophets. And I want to say, why aren't you raising your voice and saying, look, what about the 100 million? Yeah, 100 million. That their votes are not being counted.
100 million. Give me a break. Trump and Biden already brought out record numbers of voters. There are 325 million people in this country total, or somewhere in there, like 325 to 350 or something like that, right? But a good number of those people aren't eligible to vote. Children and people who haven't become full naturalized citizens and things like that. A lot of those people are not eligible to vote. So the idea that anybody would be able to muster 100 million votes right now is insane. At some point in the near future, our country is going to continue to grow. We're going to get more citizens. We're going to get more children. More children are going to reach voting age, and they're going to be convinced by this argument or that argument. And at some point, we'll have 100 million voters picking one side or the other side. But right now, that's completely unrealistic. If you're curious, Donald Trump in 2016 got 63 million votes, basically, and Hillary Clinton got 66 million votes, basically. I'm rounding up a little bit here. So there's a 3 million vote difference. That's a far cry from 100 million. In 2020, Biden won 81 million, a little bit over that, and Trump won 74 million. That's more votes than any other person has ever received in the history of ever, as far as I know, for both of them. But that's still not 100 million for anybody. That's completely batshit crazy to claim that 100 million people voted for Trump. I remember hearing people arguing that it was 80 million for Trump actually, and it, the fraud outweighed blah, blah, blah. I remember some people saying it was 85 million, but 100 million? People don't realize how fucking big these numbers are, seriously.
Their voice is not being heard, not through the courts. You say, yeah, because there was not enough proof. No, they didn't want to hear the evidence.
Lay it on me. I'm listening. Give me the evidence. I've been listening this whole fucking time. I'm interested. I want to hear it. Give me the evidence. Oh, there isn't any. Okay. I'm sorry. I thought there was. I figured if you're going to court, you're going to have some. But as it turns out, the most efficient way to manipulate public perception is to claim that you have evidence and then go to court, thus solidifying the idea that you have evidence. And then when you get to court, reveal that you don't actually have any evidence, which is exactly what happened.
Go to Mike Lindell. You'll see there is plenty of absolute proof that they stole the election.
Wow, I can't believe this guy is like vouching for Mike Lindell. That dude is out there. If anybody is, then it's Mike Lindell. He has got some interesting conspiracy theories, Mike Lindell has, and surprisingly, I haven't covered him on this channel. I probably should. He's an oddball.
And you can't just ignore it and act like it didn't happen and that it's going to go away and somehow in 2022 and 2024. No, we need to deal with the thief now, and he must pay back sevenfold.
This is fucking sad, man. He must pay back sevenfold. You know what that means? That means that Donald Trump gets 7 extra terms because 1 term was taken from him. How many years is that? 7 times 4? That's 7, 14, 21. That's 28 years. That's 28 years worth of terms, according to Hank Kueneman. That's how many years Trump is owed. And that sevenfold thing, that comes from the Old Testament, I believe. I don't know if that's actually what Hank Kueneman is saying or if that's what he wants, but that's what I'm picking up from it.
Away and somehow in 2022 and 2024. No, we need to deal with the thief now, and he must pay back sevenfold. Really, sevenfold ought to be 7 more years for 45, because you already stole 1.
Oh, okay, so you already stole 1 year. So that means that Trump gets 7 more years. I wonder what he's going to say at the end of Biden's term. Like in 2024, when Biden is exiting office, or 2028, whatever happens. I wonder if he's going to claim that Trump is owed all that extra time. Of course, Trump doesn't have that extra time. Dude is in his late 70s, isn't he? Maybe approaching 80 now? Trump couldn't possibly live long enough to serve 30 more years as president. So maybe that's why Hank Kueneman is going with the lower number. I don't know. Point is, Hank Kueneman is completely off his rocker on this. Biden didn't steal anything. Trump isn't going to take office again. It's just not going to fucking happen. Unless Trump is voted in legally, just like Biden was. If Trump runs in 2024 and wins, he will be president again for 4 more years. I don't think that's going to happen, but I guess time will tell. There's another person on here that I wanted to watch, Donna Rigney. She's on the Elijah Streams YouTube channel with Steve Schultz. So let's give this one a listen and see what she had to say.
One of the reasons that he is going to restore Donald Trump back to his position, and I feel it's coming soon. I don't feel we've got too much longer to wait. That is because of this glory. It's because of the Great Awakening. It's because of this revival that's coming. He wants somebody at the helm that won't stop it. Oh, that will foster it and encourage it and get behind it and make sure that nobody stops what God is doing.
So basically, this woman is saying, Donna Rigney, she's saying that God has plans for this country, and he wants to enact those plans, but God is afraid that Biden is going to step in his way and stop his plans. So he wants to get Trump in there to make sure that the president helps God fulfill his plans instead of hindering him. Since when did God need help from anybody? This is fucking bizarre. Either he's omniscient and omnipotent, or he's not. Why are they claiming that God needs Trump's help to fulfill his plan? What the fuck is going on here? It's because they view Trump as the new Messiah. That is why. This is a death cult.
What God is doing, and he will do what's right. And that's why God's saying, I need my Cyrus back at the helm, because what I'm going to do, I don't want any demon spirits operating through any man to stop. I'm birthing the child of revival, and it will not be stopped. Oh, ha, oh.
I love those little sound effects she's giving us at the end. Let's listen one more time.
Oh, ha, oh.
Is that supposed to be God birthing the revival of a nation or something like that? What the fuck? Let's listen to this one section here.
And that's why God's saying, I need my Cyrus.
I need my Cyrus. I know that may have slipped right by, but I caught it. People say that Trump has what's called the Cyrus anointing, okay? It comes from the Bible. There's a verse about King Cyrus being anointed as some special messenger for God, some special worker for God, and they claim that Trump has the Cyrus anointing. Trump is biblically obligated to fulfill a purpose in God's plan. That's their claim. That's what that little bit there was about the Cyrus anointing.
And that's why God's saying, I need my Cyrus.
This is a death cult. These people believe that Trump is basically the new Messiah. They believe God needs Trump to stand in as president to fulfill the rest of his plan. What are we going to do about these people? How are we going to help people like this come back to reality and out of delusion land? It's going to happen at some point.